Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to 2 Minute Drill, the first pitch-only show that features entrepreneurs from all walks of life competing each week for more than $50,000 in cash and prizes. Hosted by legendary entrepreneur, sports executive, and investor David Meltzer. 5 contestants have just 2 minutes to deliver their most convincing pitch ever. Who will fold under the pressure and who will thrive?
Congratulations, great pitch.
After the pitches are complete, the judges will deliberate to decide our champion.
You violated some amazing rules.
Will they rise to the occasion?
Give us more of your heart and your passion rather than what you felt like you had to say.
What is it that we need from you? Because that's where you're going to get somebody.
Will they blow away the judges?
I don't know, we're going to run out of applause. That was probably one of the best pitches I've ever seen.
Will they be crowned champion?
You are the winner of 2 Minute Drill.
David Meltzer hosts 2 Minute Drill.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Takeaway of the Month. We are loaded up and ready to go for Friday training. You bring the questions and the takeaways, and I will give the commentary to help enlighten. We're going to let Nick go ahead and introduce everything.
Now, today's topic for David's Power Hour is going to be the takeaway of the month. So as you have your takeaways that you would like to share, please use the hand icon in the lower right-hand corner of your screen to request to join the stage. And of course, if you already are up on stage here, please use the room chat to notify that you would like to share your takeaway of the month. And before we get started here, let's make sure that we continue to invite all of our friends, family, colleagues, anybody that we would believe would benefit from this incredible conversation. And as David mentioned, with a very active week next week, Chicago on Monday, New York on Tuesday, New Jersey on Wednesday, Philly and Chicago on Thursday. If you would like to join David in any of those cities for his meetups, VIP dinners, lunches, breakfasts and learns, the whole nine, all you have to do is email him directly, david@dmeltzer.com. Once again, that's just david@dmeltzer.com, which of course can be found here in the room chat. Now, with that said, David, I will actually pass the mic over to you to get us started. If you'd be so kind as to share your takeaway of the month.
Absolutely. And I think it's so important to understand how we decipher and prioritize these takeaways, because we're overloaded with lessons from a variety of different people and a variety of different exposures and a variety of different stages and videos, etc. For me, it's important, as my takeaway of the month is about takeaways, is that we should only remember, which means recollect or remind ourselves through a process of creating a repository or a storage facility for that which we want to remember, remind, and recollect. But how do we know out of all the different takeaways, all the things, how many times have all of us listened to something and it just hit us and we forgot it? That's why I keep something by my bed so I can remember, remind, and recollect with that infinite loop, the omniscient, abundant, all-knowing that helps to accelerate me in a trajectory, a direction that's better than I ever imagined. So I believe my takeaway for the month is about takeaways. Only take away that which resonates with you, and make sure that you have a system, a repository to place or capture or remind, remember, or recollect what resonates with you. And I have a folder in Outlook that I utilize in order to remind, remember, and recollect all of the great takeaways. And then I go through that on Sundays and I attach stories to those takeaways, because the best way to remind, remember, and recollect, not only for ourselves, but for others, is to attach a story to it. And so I notate with a few words a story that's not scripted out, but simply a reminder, recollection, and a remembrance of that which resonates with me, that struck a chord on 3 different planes. One, an intelligence level, that it resonates with me, that it really meant something. 2, an intuitive level, that it struck a chord emotionally with my energy and motion. And then 3, inspirationally, it hit and reminded and recollected me to the infinite inspirational loop that I'm a part of. And so if something is resonating with me at an intellectual, intuitive, and inspirational level, I go ahead and capture it, reposit it, put it into an Outlook folder to review it, and then attach a story to it. That's my takeaway, which is about takeaways. So hopefully everyone here will do that, so you don't end up like I did from undergrad, law school, business school, all the millions of dollars of personal development and education that now cost me $1,200 a month every single month for a storage facility full of banker boxes of things that I cannot remember, recollect, or remind, things that I have no access to, that didn't resonate with me, but just I just took a note of every nugget I could hear. So that's the takeaway, Nick. I'm going to throw it back at you before you pick someone else. We got a ton of people online. We have a ton of people in Clubhouse. We have a ton of people on every platform giving us their takeaways. What is your takeaway?
Yeah, my takeaway for this month is actually really simple, and I'm glad that I caught this takeaway more towards the beginning of the month. But my takeaway is just simply that worry is a wasted emotion.
Yep.
I had caught myself very, very early on. I think I was aware of it in the past, right? But when it has an overwhelming effect on you and then starts to affect your productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, right, it only makes you even more aware. So it was something that throughout this month, I gave it even more attention and intention towards the energy that I gave it. And it obviously, I think from the results that we were able to bring together, that I was able to produce, definitely was not only worth the attention and intention, but is something that I will definitely be in a much better place for moving forward. So I'm definitely proud of myself for that. But of course, it's a practice, right? So it's only going to continue to get better and better.
It will. And remember, worry is not only a wasted emotion, it's a duplicative, interfering negative in our lives. So not only does it interfere with us in our potential, and it's a waste of energy, or it's emotion that's not aligned with where we want to be, the results that we want to have, the consequences, coincidences, whatever you may say, but it actually is wishing. Worrying is wishing. And we're blessed with the ability to wish. In fact, that's why our health is so important, because if you're healthy, you get as many wishes as you want a day. And if you're at dis-ease, if you're unhealthy, you only have one wish. And worrying is a wish. Unfortunately, it's a wish for what we don't want. And anyone that's been in school and put forth their worry that a certain question would not be on a test know that those wishes come true far too often. And when we wish for a question not to be on a test, we're almost guaranteed that it'll be the first question on that test. So stop worrying. Not only is it a wasted emotion, but it's a duplicative, interfering negative that puts you at dis-ease and wishes for more dis-ease. What a great takeaway. We got 2 rocking and rolling here on takeaway of the month. Everybody join in. We'd love to hear what your takeaways are as well. Nick, why don't we bring up our first takeaway?
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to Colleen to lead us with her takeaway. So, Colleen, happy Friday. Welcome to the stage here. Feel free to unmute yourself and share your takeaway of the month.
Happy Friday. Good morning, everybody. My takeaway, Dave, kind of is a play on to your takeaway. But I saw this quote and I thought that this is the best way to really understand repositing those lessons and then knowing if you've learned them or not. So it's a memory without an emotional charge is called wisdom. And so you talk a lot about the lessons will keep on coming until we actually learn them. How do you know that you've actually learned them? And that really is that, that emotional charge is no longer there. And so now it's become that lesson, it's become that wisdom.
I love it. And within the context of abundance and ignorant arrogance and ignorant humility, one of the things that I've learned about lessons is not only do they keep on coming until we learn them, but once we learn them, we realize there's more to learn. And so there used to be a saying, the more I learn, the more I forget, the more I forget, the less I know. So why learn? But in actuality, that saying of the more I know, the more I don't know is true, but it's the more that I know, the more I actually have learned. But because I've learned, I now am aware of more that I don't know. And so I want to encourage people through this process of capture and reposit and access and remind, remember, and recollect that the journey of learning always changes. And where and why they talk about devoid of emotion is that if we can look and learn at things devoid of the energy that we give it, the meaning that we give it, we then can dissipate the one thing that causes interference or this worry, anxiety, fear that is in existence with the lessons that we learn when we realize that, wow, I learned that. Now there's so much more to learn, is that we must understand that the more that we look into these things, then we can find without emotion wisdom, because time, emotion, and value are constantly changing. This is why we need to align what we want with where we think we want to be, because time, emotion, and value are always changing. And so if we can take out as much emotion from the lesson, then we can utilize a more stable environment, more stable data, because as the emotions change, it doesn't impact the lesson that we learned. Where if we don't extract that emotion, the meaning that we give something that best suits what we want or better, then we are at risk of emotionally changing the lesson. And so wisdom is devoid of emotion, because emotion, value, and time is always and ever changing. And we can create more stable data for ourselves if we can extract the emotions from the lessons. But as you know, lessons carry emotions because we don't always remember the nuggets, the lessons. That's why we want to capture them. But we do remember the way we feel, the emotions. So shorten the distance of resistance by having wisdom and faith in the lessons that we learn. What a great supplemental and additional value add to the takeaways of the month, specifically even my takeaway of repositing that which intellectually and intuitively and inspirationally resonate with you, and then creating that system. All right, Nick, we're rocking and rolling. Can you believe we're almost done with the first quarter?
I cannot. I swear, as much as time flies when you're having fun, let's just say that, especially with these power hours, they only continue to go by quicker and quicker. But I think that's only a reflection, not only of you, David, and of course the value that you bring each and every week, but this incredibly abundant community, which of course, especially with the takeaway of the month, make these fly by.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited. By the way, I know we're traveling around. We have, some extraordinary people that are going to be with us as well, talking about those relationships that Ramon was talking about. So we have everyone from Clinton Sparks, Claude Silver. I'm losing track of everyone. We have the Knowlton family office guys are going to be there. Wayne Kimmel. We have Mike Moosberger. We have Gail is going to swing by, and I'm losing track. But build relationships. You know, you want to be the sixth, Nick. And when I say that, if you look around you and you got 5 unbelievable people around you, you want to be the sixth. If you have 5 struggling people around you, you don't want to be the sixth. So always consider you the 6th man off the bench, because you will be in a trajectory in the direction of the 5 that you hang out with the most. Be the 6th man off the bench on the team that you want to play for. That's another takeaway, a freebie for everybody. Anyway, Nick, who's up next?
Absolutely. And I'm going to go ahead. I think it looks like Tony with the keys had raised his hand here. I know he's already been on stage. So, Tony, if you'd like to go ahead and share your takeaway of the month, please feel free to unmute yourself using the mic in the lower right-hand corner. I'm not sure if that was just a wave or
it was a wave and a hand raise. So, what's up, Nick? What's up, David? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be here, and I just kind of wanted to. So a takeaway for me was kind of an additive, a supplement to what we were all, what we were just saying, and what Colleen just said is I really learned and understand and have a better understanding of everything that brought us to this point, has prepared us for this point. Everything that we've learned, everything that we've amassed, all the things that we've gone through has prepared us for the challenges that we face right now. And I've seen this in my life recently, where I was able to find a solution to a situation, find a solution to a marketing situation, based on some of the thoughts, some of the things that I've learned in the past. And I believe that it prepares us, but we just have to figure out a way to package it and compile it properly, so that way we can move forward and be able to find that solution within it. So that's really my big takeaway, is that everything that we have amassed, everything that we've learned thus far has prepared us for this exact stage. And everything that we will learn will prepare us for the next stage. So
that's beautiful. That's one of my favorites for sure. And we're limited obviously by our self-image. We'll never overachieve our own self-image, but even more importantly, we are limited by our past, only by what you were talking about. We're limited by the meaning that we give our past, the light, the love, and the lessons that we find in our past. And it's not only the setbacks, failures, mistakes, void, shortages, and obstacles. It's the successes, it's defining moments. It's even the historical relevances that we have experienced or read about. And if we realize that we are only limiting that infinite loop that I talk about, the world of value add more than enough, by giving the wrong meaning, and what is present today, is it aligned with the meaning of the past to get to where we want to be, that unlimited potential that we have. And so many people, they don't even realize that they're limiting their self-image by the meaning that they give the past. And I highly suggest understanding how this is also reconciled with giving. And as we look to the past, if we don't understand that the more we give into the future, the more we're given into the future, but it's our past that allows us to be aware of all that we're given. And it's our past that limits us to how much of what we're given we receive. And so many of us, we give 100%, we're given 120%, but either we don't realize it because we are not giving the right meaning, or worse, we don't feel worthy of it. So we feel bad and guilty and, oh, no, it's okay. I don't need that. I don't want that. And then our 100% becomes less and less and less again and again and again. And pretty soon we're in a zero-sum game where we end up with less and less and less and finally nothing. And this idea of giving meaning to the past, using gratitude to find the light, the love, and the lessons, and forgiveness for all the mistakes that we've made along the way and others have made along the way as well, we can increase that infinite loop, the abundant, unified system that we all belong to, that, like you suggest, loves and protects us and promotes us into a better place, a better position, a better situation. What a blessing that takeaway is for all of us. what great enlightenment it is. And to share this community is a blessing every Friday. I want to thank Ramon and Nick, of course, and all the rest of my team who helps assist us. We've been doing training for over 24 years. We have over 100,000 people registered and over 1 million people who watch the replays and repost from everywhere, Apple TV to Spotify to all the different LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and of course here on Clubhouse, led by the Breakfast of Champions and the champion himself. Nick, there's been some great takeaways so far. Why don't we continue this party?
Could not agree more. And with that said, David, I'm going to pass it over to Monica, who has been patiently waiting with her takeaway. So Monica, happy Friday. So great to see you here. Hope you've had a great week. Feel free to unmute yourself and share your takeaway.
Okay, great. Thanks. It's great to be here. My takeaway, and you've touched on the worry and the disempowering conversation that we have with ourselves sometimes in our mindset because we're giving meaning to the past. I totally concur with that. But my takeaway is that create what's next for you, regardless of that inner conversation that you're having with yourself. Stay in action. I just moved to New York. I miraculously found a place to live that just was basically handed to me because I said I was going to do it. And I didn't have any objection in my mind. I'm like, I'm moving there. That's it. And so miracles can happen in any given moment. And I just want to share that, that even though we all have that mind that will try to stop us and keep us small. But I'm really looking forward to opportunities opening up because I'm meant to be here. I chose to be here. And you can do whatever you decide to do. You've got to speak it and use your word to speak into existence what you really desire. That's what I wanted to share. I look forward to seeing you next week, David.
Oh, my goodness. I look forward to seeing you as well. And that idea of manifestation and the idea of possibilities, probabilities, perspective, and reality is based upon that meaning, but it's also based upon the mathematical formula that you've utilized in order to facilitate your move to New York and to access the miracles that exist all around us every day because of what we are part and parcel of, that infinite, abundant, unified system that we belong to. So when we pay attention to moving to New York, and then you talked about speaking it and taking the action and having the thoughts and having the beliefs and having the inspiration and the feeling, those 5 components of intention, what we pay attention to, like our move to New York, what we give intention to, what we say, do, think, feel, and believe, equals those coincidences, the coinciding of the universe, the consequences, the results, the outcomes that we wish for or better, and utilizing the appropriate wishes, not the interfering wishes like worrying or doubting. We know how the conscious continuum works. We know we've inherited into our unconscious, our quantum being, we've inherited all types of resistance. We've inherited genetically and energetically all the things to tell us you cannot do that. We know our subconscious is full of negative, interfering thoughts. That subconscious has created neural pathways. In fact, over 80% of our thoughts are negative that exist in our subconscious. 80% of 40,000 thoughts a day are negative, interfering with, creating more resistance to what we want or better. And what makes it worse is it's repetitive. So now if we look at the unconscious mind, we are coded with negativity from genetic and energetic inheritance. We are repetitive in the negativity because of our subconscious mind. And yet we have complete control of our conscious. We have complete control of our attention and intention. We give meaning to everything we see. Although we can't find outside of us what we can't see inside of us, we can utilize the conscious level in which we participate in the man-made construct of time, the 24 hours every day that we're guaranteed, except, of course, the last day of your life, you'll be cheated out of a few hours. But taking the perspective of what you're guaranteed every day, these 24 hours, if we look into how am I being intentional about what I'm paying attention to equal the coincidences, outcomes, and results that I want or better, then I can actually change or manipulate my subconscious. And pretty soon, less and less of the negativity is repetitive. And behold, that the subconscious mind starts talking to our inheritances through the epigenetic layer of our unconscious mind. It starts talking to our DNA, our genetic and energetic inheritance. And it's saying, hey, that's not what you want to wish for. I know for 4 generations, your genetics have been wishing for that dis-ease, but that's not what you want to wish for. I know energetically you've inherited that dis-ease, but that's not what you're wishing for. Let me put you at ease so that you can be part and parcel of these miracles of the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing, that you are part and parcel to an infinite loop, an abundant, more than enough world of everything for everyone. Let me add value to everything I see with appreciation, acknowledgement, and giving me the inspiration to ask for more, knowing that when I ask for more, it is a value add to those who are given and give to me, through me, and for me. All right, nick of time. There are so many things going on around me here with all types of takeaways. What do we have next?
Yeah, how about I go ahead and reset the room here quickly, and then we will go ahead and take our next takeaway of the month here live on Clubhouse. Does that sound fair?
You've been trained by the best, Nick. Thank you so much.
That is for sure. Well, happy Friday, everybody. We are almost at halftime here of David Meltzer's Power Hour in the Breakfast with Champions. And of course, today's theme and topic is takeaway of the month. So as you have your takeaways to share here with this beautifully abundant community, please make sure to use the hand in the lower right-hand corner of your screen to request to join the stage. And as a reminder, if you already are on stage, please just send a reminder to me in the room chat. And of course, I will kick the mic over to you so you can share. And as David has mentioned, he is going on one heck of a tour next week, starting on Monday in Chicago, Tuesday in New York City, Wednesday in New Jersey, Thursday kicking off the morning in Philadelphia, ending up in Chicago in the afternoon. If you'd like to join David in any of those cities for a meetup, for David's VIP dinners, or even just to stop by and grab a quick picture and a signed book from David, all you have to do is email him directly. David@dmeltzer.com. Once again, just David@dmeltzer.com, which of course can be found in the room chat. Now, with that said, David, I'm going to pass it over to Hatul here on Clubhouse. So Hatul, happy Friday. Always great to see you here. Feel free to unmute yourself and share your takeaway of the month.
Thank you, Nick. Blessed and grateful to be here. Thank you, Dave, as always. My takeaway for the month is that my power is and always will be in the now. And again, trained by the best. We're given the gift of 24 hours each day, other than the last day of our lives. And so much of Dave's teachings are embedding with me now, but kind of this thought that my power is only in the now, and then to look at my calendar and look at my priorities and reprioritize, and when the rubber hits the road, when I execute on those priorities in the now. That's my takeaway.
I, from Eckhart Tolle on, agree with you in understanding the gift of the present. Took me a long time, what it meant to be present. And in a pragmatic sense, you mentioned a word that resonates with me when I talk about the now, about being present, and it's prioritize. You see, in order to prioritize, which by the way is the antidote to feeling overwhelmed, it's also the antidote to procrastination. But in order to be present, to live in the now, to hold our power, as you say, to create the light, the love, and the lessons in everything we are doing in a trajectory or a direction towards where we want to be, the results, outcomes, opportunities, options, and touches of favor, or better in the future, we need to prioritize. But in order to prioritize, to live in the now, we need to know what's important to us. And in order to know what's important to us, then we need to know what we want personally, experientially, giving wise, receiving wise. We need to know who. We need to know who we can help and who can help us, because the fastest way to get to where we want to be is not only to find someone who sits in a situation that we want to be in, but also help someone get into the situation they want to be in. And when we know our what and our who, we then need to make a plan. And utilizing the 24 hours that we're given, which is the present, we're guaranteed it, except for the last day of your life, as you have re-articulated. We need to know what our non-negotiables are according to time. I personally put a minimum of 7 hours of sleep first. Then I put a minimum of an hour a day on my health second. Why? Because if we're healthy, we get as many wishes as we want. If we're unhealthy, we only have one wish. I then put a minimum of an hour with my family. I then put a minimum of time studying faith and studying and researching where I want to be or better. I then put an amount of time on the activity I get paid for, unpaid for, my finances. And as I work through the prioritization of the how, I then can create the now. It is not until you know your what, your who, and your how that you can determine effectively, efficiently, with statistical success, the now. And I will tell you this statistically, that 100%, and this is directed towards Nick, by the way, 100% of the things you do now, Nick, they get done. And if you're blessed enough to prioritize correctly, utilizing your intention of what you do, say, think, feel, and believe in what you want, who you can help, and how to get that done, and who can help you, by the way, you then will know your next. And if you know your now and your next, it creates the efficiencies along with the statistical success of 100% of the things that you do now get done. You now become more efficient because you know what to do next as well. And being a student of the calendar as well will allow you to have the parking places for when God laughs at you for having a well-developed plan. When you're looking and studying, when you're paying attention and giving intention to all the time that you have to be present, even things that are unplanned, the unplanned activities is a parking place for you. It's a parking place of reprioritization. It's like having a parking place right outside of Costco at noon on Saturday. As you're in the biggest, most hectic time of your day, you know exactly where to reprioritize and park. And this is a key formula. I'm happy to send that formula to anyone along with my book. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll send you these 5 daily practices of prioritization. If you want to learn how to prioritize, if you want to live in the now, if you want to know the power of now, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Nick, I'm going to nickname you Do It Now, Nick. Do it now, Nick. What do you got for me?
Let's keep it rolling here on Clubhouse. I'm going to do it now and pass it over to the one and only Brent, who is here on stage and who has been patiently waiting. So, Brent, it's always great to see you. Happy Friday. Feel free to unmute yourself and share your takeaway of the month.
Happy Friday, Nick. Happy Friday, David. Happy Friday, Hatal and everyone, and Ron. I have 2 takeaways, so I hope that's okay.
That's fine.
A lot this month. One is the power of community. Just being in the right place with the right people opens up the opportunity. The other woman on the phone kind of hit upon that, and that resonated. So that is a huge takeaway. Second big takeaway, which I needed way sooner than this month, but is the power of brevity. I noticed, based on the community I was surrounding myself with, that I talk a lot. And it's not really that great of a thing, and it kind of is distracting to what I am here to do. And I've noticed to keep it brief is so powerful, and it commands so much more respect. And I'm loving the new me. So that's my takeaways of the month.
I love all of those takeaways, especially how you've learned to love you. We can't give what we don't have. And the more that we learn to love ourselves, the more love we can give, the more present, aware, and also intentional we can be with that light to liberate others to shine as well. And utilizing brevity shows clarity, balance, and focus. So many times we just take up our time by talking about our favorite topic, subject matter expertise, ourself. And so, although it's counterintuitive to believe that those that love themselves the most don't talk about themselves the most, it's absolutely true. When we learn to love you and we're able to liberate others to love themselves, we have great clarity on what our intentions are. We have great balance or harmony within the activities of the day. And we are extremely focused. We have our attention and intention aligned with the direction of where we want to be or better. And so if there's activities or distractions that are not aligned with where we want to be or better, or there's dis-ease between us and where we want to be or better, we quickly readjust and reprioritize. And so the idea of brevity is an illustration of that prioritization of clarity, balance, and focus. And Brent, I'm very proud of you. And most importantly, continue to love you so you can share that love with so many others. And I see the great progress and empowerment in you and outside of you, and appreciate you. I hopefully will see you in New York, New Jersey, Philly, Chicago, somewhere on the East Coast. I'd love to connect again. We got meetups, dinners, masterminds. Come and join us. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. The unbelievable Brent, thank you for joining us. Nick.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, brother.
We'll see you.
Oh, good.
I'll have a week of Meltzer.
Come and join the week of Meltzer.
The Meltzerverse.
I love it. That's beautiful. Well, we certainly are going to get a lot of hugs going on. I love seeing people in person. I can't wait to see Ramon, by the way. He is full of light. There is no one that has more energy. Every Friday, he has just filled up the void of Glenn Lundy that used to be here, and he is overflowing into this community. So we want to big shout out to our boy, who we'll see as well on our tour. 200 cities this year. You definitely want to catch up and keep up. We'd love to see you. Nick of Time, I know you're present. What's up next?
Yeah, so let's keep it live here on Clubhouse. And I know Judith, has been patiently waiting. So Judith, it's great to see you. Happy Friday. Feel free to unmute yourself and share your takeaway of the month.
Happy Friday, Nick and David. My takeaway of the month is the thing that resonates the most with me is living a gratuitous lifestyle. And I want to say that when I heard David say that for the first time, and then he says in his training, so many people won't be able to do it by the end of tonight, and they'll forget to do it. And I just don't want to be one of those statistics. And, I love myself more, and my life is so much better since I started living that way and being grateful and being in the moment and being present. And I just wanted you to know. And hopefully I'll be able to meet you on, which I look forward to, on Thursday when you come to Chicago for a meetup. So that would be wonderful to meet you in person and have a picture taken with you, David, and I'd be like so ecstatic. So that's my win and my takeaway for the month.
Well, I love your takeaway for the month. It's the simple things to do are unfortunately simple not to do. Everyone on earth will tell you how powerful gratitude is, but as you suggest, by tonight, although it's free and takes 0.1 seconds, and we all know how impactful gratitude is, the mindset of finding light, love, and lessons of positivity and perspective, by tonight, half of us won't say thank you, even though it takes 0.1 seconds and it's free and it's so impactful. By tomorrow morning, another half of us won't say thank you. And within 3 days, almost all of us will stop saying thank you. It's not only saying thank you, they stop doing thankful things. They stop thinking thankful thoughts and feeling thankful feelings and believing thankful beliefs. Within the context of the intentionality of gratitude, an attitude that is guaranteed to impact your life exponentially, the thing that holds us back the most is it's a simple thing to do, which is unfortunately simple not to do. It is a human resistance to be consistent. I've spent my life trying to increase the muscle of consistency. I've created a habit machine so that I don't have to rely on human nature, which is counterintuitive and counterproductive when it comes to being consistent, which leads to being persistent, which leads to the pursuit of what? The truth, our potential. And so if we can create this habit machine, and the first step of the habit machine is to have the right mindset of gratitude, the right tool of clearance, of ease, of forgiveness, and then allowing us to be present in accountability, being responsible, attracting, participating in the perception of gratitude and forgiveness, and learning lessons where we start today. the lessons that are resonating with you in an intellectual, intuitive, and inspirational way. But it all starts with the simple thing to do that's free and takes 0.1 seconds and is guaranteed to impact your life exponentially. Hundreds and thousands of people will contact me and tell me, oh my gosh, you have changed my life. And I'm thinking, is it one of the 8 books that I've had? Is it the TV shows, the movies? What is it? The speeches, the meetup? No, you told me to say thank you. And I think to myself, wow, I may just be wasting my time with all this superfluous bullshit that I'm throwing out there. And I should just stick to, hey, everyone, let's do 2 things to change the world. Let's say thank you before we go to bed and when we wake up, and let's pick up trash when we see it and put it in its appropriate place. I sometimes wonder if that's all I talked about every day, all day, those 2 things, reminding, remembering, recollecting the idea of gratitude, to say thank you before you went to bed and when you wake up, and then 2, picking up trash and putting it in its appropriate place. Would that have more impact on earth than anything else I could do? Some of the things that I talk about, say, speak, travel, is it less impactful? You answer that question, but I will tell you that it's the simple things that we do that are simple not to do. And if you could pass on 2 messages for me to empower the world to be happy, it's say thank you before you go to bed and when you wake up. And when you see trash, pick it up, put it in its appropriate place. We'll have a tremendous impact on this earth. I cannot wait to see you on Thursday, and all of you on the East Coast, New York, New Jersey. We're going to be hanging out in Einstein's lab right next to Oppenheimer's lab. We're going to be doing a breakfast and learn in Philly, and meetups in all the cities, New York, New Jersey, Philly, and Chicago. We got VIP dinners if you can make it there. With some Victor Cruz is going to come, Nick. Like I said, Gail said she's stopping by. Even Jim Quick said he is stopping by. So there's a lot going on. Surround yourself. Be the 6th man. Look at the 5 people you want to be surrounded with and be the 6th. And if you don't like your team, go ahead and get traded fast. Go ahead, ask for a trade, or go ahead and ask for and release yourself. But you're going to be the 6th man. So pick those 5 and be the 6th. All right, Tricky Nick of Time, and Nick of Time. What did I say? Nick, do it now, Nick. Do it now, Nick. I like that. Now, all right, do it now, Nick. Warm it up, Nick. Warm it up, Nick.
Oh, I'm about to.
Warm it up, Nick.
Awesome. Well, let's keep
No. You got to do this right. Warm it up, Nick.
David, you were cutting in and out there. Go ahead.
Warm it up, Nick. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right, we're going to do it one more time. Warm it up, Nick.
I'm about to.
Warm it up, Nick.
That's what I was born to do.
There we go.
Keep this rocking and rolling, baby. The best room and community in Clubhouse. We like to have a lot of fun here, and I appreciate Tash with the.
I hope my kids aren't listening. I hope my kids aren't listening. They think I'm cringeworthy. They're probably right, but I'm ridiculously stupid. And Reluca's
They're giving us the laugh emoji.
good. Reluca's laughing at me, so that's good. She's the youngest one here, so that's cool.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to keep it live here on Clubhouse, and I'm going to pass it over to Chima. Chima, it's great to see you, my friend. Happy Friday. Feel free to unmute yourself and share your takeaway of the month.
Hi, Nick. Hi, everyone. Hey, my takeaway, thanks. Well, thanks and persistence. So thanks, David. I'm on, on Monday at 4:05, I think, IG Live. So that's incredible. I can't wait. Thank you so much. And also persistence, because without persistence, I wouldn't be there. It's as simple as that. Because, when you make contact and you try to get something done, it takes a couple of times before it latches on. And it's just I've learned now never to stop at the first point. Somebody doesn't have time, or they don't answer your phone, or they don't pick up something that you're asking, try again. Somebody doesn't, try again. There is a limit, but once I will persist when I can sense that the direction isn't going the right way. I mean, if somebody's outright rude and tells you to get lost and don't bother coming back, that's probably different. But where you're persisting something is a good moral thing that you're doing is right, and you just need the person to tune in and hear it and listen, then you keep persisting. that's what I do. That's what I've learned to do, and I'm thankful that sometimes it pays off nicely. Thank you, David. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everyone.
I look forward to seeing you at 405 as well, Chima. But you hit on two really big takeaways. One is a lesson that I learned from the founder of GoDaddy, Bob Parsons, who's now the founder of PXG, the golf company. And Bob Parsons had this great saying. He said, Dave, if you learn to love what you do, and I was like, oh God, he's going to say you'll never work a day in your life. But he didn't. He said, if you learn to love what you do, if you learn to love what other people don't like or don't love, and you learn to love what you don't like and you don't love, and you do it every day consistently, and you do it without quit persistently, it will tell you all its secrets. It'll give you all the cheat codes. It'll make life easy. It'll take away the dis-easy. And what a great lesson it is to know that persistence is a result of learning to love what we do, what we don't like, what we don't love, or what other people do, don't like, or don't love. And if we can learn to love those consistently, persistently in the pursuit of our potential, it will tell us all its secrets. It'll give us the cheat codes. It'll make life easy and take away the dis-easy. And so I want to encourage everyone in that. And then the second takeaway that I call the 3 no rule is, because we have such access to so many people, we want to, one, qualify people by an open mind, but open minds take time. Not everyone has an open mind at that time. And so we use the 3 no rule to continually to be persistent. And on the third time, if we run across a closed mind or a situation where we are not getting what was promised, or a situation that is not aligned with where we want to be or better, we simply tell the person, this isn't the right time. Please let me know when it is. And when we utilize the 3 no rule in order to effectuate abundance, the infinite loop, what happens is that we accelerate those people that do have an open mind and are ready to move forward, or we give them permission to say no, because most people don't want to say no because they're part of the infinite loop. They don't want to say no, especially if they've already verbally or in writing committed. They don't want to say no. But unfortunately, time, emotion, and value is always changing. And the better that we can align the timing and risk tolerance of the value with what was promised, we can then effectuate what was promised. But sometimes it's just impossible. Sometimes times, emotions, and values have changed after the agreement has been made, verbally or written, and we have to either accelerate what was promised or allow the person to say no. By using the 3 no rule, we give that permission. We accelerate the person that is interested with an open mind, even if time, emotion, and value has changed, but we also give the permission to say no. And with that statistical success within the realm of both of those responses, either an acceleration of yes or the permission to say no, we receive value. It's a gift. Because one, it's obvious, if we accelerate someone who has already agreed to move forward, moving forward faster is a good thing. Or two, giving someone permission to say no is also a good thing, because we will not chase something that's not going to happen. And we're not going to make others feel bad or be in dis-ease because time, emotion, and value has changed. And we have not aligned ourselves, even though there's verbal or written agreement already, with the timing and risk tolerance that's present today in the now. And so I want everyone to utilize the 3 no rule, which will be incredibly valuable in both circumstances. And so many people have chased things that never going to happen, and also have created resistance instead of accelerating those people who want to say yes by having resentment, offense, and guilt thrown in because somebody's not doing what they promised to do, whether it was written or verbally expressed. And so if anybody would like the 3 no rule, it has changed my life personally and professionally. It has allowed me to build a community of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. And you can be a part of that. The 3 no rule is yours. I'll send it to you for free. I'll send you my book as well. I'll sign it, send it to you. Pay for shipping and the book. So there's no hidden costs and no hidden agendas. Just trying to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. And the 3 No rule is a critical cornerstone of that abundance, that infinite loop. David at dmeltzer.com. Nick, people are loving Crisscross. You have to Google that and who that is, but would love to share the 3 No rule. A lot of people want that online. They're banging me up right now. Go ahead, reset the room as we're coming into the last 10 minutes.
Absolutely. We are officially in the fourth quarter, folks, but that does not mean we don't still have more time for incredible takeaways. So with David Meltzer's Power Hour here in the Breakfast with Champions, again, today is Takeaway of the Month as the theme of the topic. So as we have time here in the last 10 minutes for a few more takeaways, if you would like to share yours, use the hand in the lower right-hand corner of your screen to request to join the stage. Or if you already are on stage, please use the room chat to remind me that you would like to share your takeaway as well. But with that said, David, I'm actually going to pass it over to, looks like Dammy here. So Dammy, thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to unmute yourself and share your takeaway of the month.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Hi, David.
Hi.
Meg. This is great. I often ask myself, what would David do? Which, as someone who develops concepts for television, I feel like that's a winner with a name. And it's been a while since I've been on the Clubhouse stage, but it's due to having to reprioritize. And so when I was thinking about my takeaway this month, it's an interesting one because, when you have things that you have to do, right? And yet, that in the balance of life, especially like when I'm looking at my life, I'm currently back in New York, and I was looking at priorities, and my mom's currently going through dementia, and I saw it as an opportunity to see what we do before the curtain closes. And so, when I ask myself the question, like, what is the journey before the curtain closes, before you end this life, and what do you want to leave as a legacy to the people around you? And so I came to the conclusion that it was like generational wealth, and then concluding your life in dignity. So having everything wrapped up so that your kids and other people don't have to argue about the things that you've achieved in your life, and you leave the planet in sour for everybody else, right? And so I think really when I think about my takeaway, it's like, we're all like reminded that we have these kind of like intangible legacies, and and they're kind of forged in this, they're forged in like the fire of like hardship and then healing as well. And so how do you really truly enrich like the descendants that you have? And I think that's like by guiding them along through your life before you're gone. And so like, how would we do that? And I think when you mentioned about this kind of epigenetics and being able to transform yourself like from the inside, I asked myself about like priorities. And sometimes even though, I want to be in certain other places, like here, but then your life calls you into another direction. I realized that we're influenced by our priorities inside, but also by being able to influence the future generation. So so somehow it's all tied up in there, Dave. But I'm still definitely certain closing so that you leave generational wealth and live a life of dignity.
Well, it's a beautiful perspective, and it's one in which I have is, our continuum, our infinite life, and in each journey, whether you believe it or not, in future lifetimes and past lifetimes, and the only reason I believe in more than one lifetimes is I'm a best option person. So if you can't prove something, then I just go ahead and pick the best option. So as far as I know, people can't prove whether there's one life or multiple lives. So my personal option is to believe in, millions of lifetimes, not just one, until someone can prove otherwise. I'll take the best option, including my faith, which is, I believe in a unified system, all religions, all philosophies, all theories, and all spiritualities of something bigger than me that loves me more than my mom. I love the What Would David Do? You can add in this community, who does David know? So we actually have a Monday group, and that's the basis of the Monday group. What would David do and who does David know? And also building a networking community of people. What would all of us do and what do all of us know, or who does all of us know, in order to create a community of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. Generational wealth. There's so many great people that can help facilitate that, and understanding, family bank, and understanding a quadrant living of, the different areas of what you want, personal, experiential, giving and receiving, of those different quadrants of a family bank that will live through mostly assets and assets-based lending, even to your own family. Those are some great strategies. But the idea of energetic and genetic inheritance is far beyond just that financial side. And so as I look at things personally, experientially, giving and receiving wise, it's only not just the generational wealth as far as finance, but it's the health, it's the faith, it's the inspiration, the spirituality, the religion, the theories and philosophies that we're passing. And it's so easy today with the legacy of video to be able to pass on the energetic and genetic code that we wish we had or wanted generationally as well to give forward. So we would love to see you in New York, by the way. We'll be there on Tuesday, since you're there as well. New York, New Jersey, Philly, Chicago. We got a loaded week, then off to Madison, Wisconsin. And then, of course, Las Vegas the next week we're filming. But if you want to catch our friends, there's some great people: Claude Silver, Victor Cruz, Gail, Jim Quick, Rick Jordan, Clinton Sparks. It's all coming back to me, Nick. All our friends are going to be with us. Come and join us. The Naughton Family Office is giving us the mansion for the mastermind. We have Devin Denofa has given us the Pyramid Club for the breakfast and learn in Philly. We are loaded up with things to do. Let's extend and amplify this community. I'm looking for a bunch of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. I promise you, the higher level of consciousness comes from the collective, not the individual. Nick of time, we got 4 minutes, which means I got time for one more takeaway.
Absolutely. For this last takeaway of the day, I'm actually going to pass it over to Serafina, who has been patiently waiting here on stage since the start. So Serafina, thanks so much for your patience. Feel free to unmute yourself and share your takeaway of the month.
Hello, David and Nick. Happy Friday, and happy Friday to everyone in the community. So my takeaway for the month is actually, I think, takeaway the past few weeks, but it's similar to what Brett was talking about, of the importance of listening to people rather than just hearing people out, because I think hearing is just like a sense that we have, but listening, as you say, Dave, all the time, is a practice, and it's a skill that I think needs to be developed, because sometimes we just hear people out, but we're not actually listening and giving them our full attention. And sometimes people will say things to me and I don't know necessarily what to say, but saying less sometimes is actually more important, because you're leaving room for people to talk and hear them out. So that's kind of my takeaway for this month.
I love it. Well, first of all, you'll learn a lesson when you become a parent, Serafina. It's not what you say, it's what they hear. And so that falls aligned with listening. And everybody's heard that there's a reason we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. But just understanding the conscious continuum as well, of understanding what is being said. And the only way that we can do that is one of my favorite closes that I utilize on the lives, TV shows, broadcast, podcasts, all the different digital things that we're doing. And it's simply, you need to be more interested than interesting. You see, there's 3 types of listeners. There's the interrupter, which is an obvious obsequious type of listener that doesn't even give you an opportunity to speak because they're too busy waiting to be interesting. Not even waiting, sorry, just to be interesting. So they interrupt you. Then there's the most dangerous of them all, the one that you were articulating there, which is called the waiter. And what the waiter does is they don't hear you. They're not interested in what you have to say. They're not interested in the appreciation, the adding of value to what you say. And so they're just waiting to tell you what they think. They're just waiting to be interesting, not interested. And so you have the interrupters, which are obvious. You have the waiters, which are obsequious. And then you have the listener, the person who's more interested than interesting. You have the learner. You have the one that's seeking the light, the love, and the lessons and the appreciation of what you agree with, but most importantly, which is much needed today, you have the listener that is trying to appreciate the differences in what you say compared to what they think, say, do, believe, and feel. And if we could encourage more people to be more interested than interesting, to appreciate the differences as long as the similarities or the sameness or the equity and inclusion into the infinite loop. What truly creates equity and inclusion is our uncanny ability to appreciate by being more interested the difference. And so this takeaway for you is critical, and it's for me as well, that we want to be more interested than interesting. We want to know it's not what we say, it's what they hear. And are they interrupters, waiters, or are they interested in appreciation of adding value to what is the same and what is difference? Tick tock. It is the nick of time. 7 a.m. here on Pacific time. We'll be back east, so it'll be 10 a.m. next time we're rocking and rolling on the East Coast. Come and join us. We are on tour. If you want the 3 No Rule or my book, david@dmeltzer.com. We have the replays available to share as well. Please, everyone, david@dmeltzer.com, New York, New Jersey, Philly, Chicago, Madison, Wisconsin, and Las Vegas. If you can't keep up with us, neither can I. Text me, be alerted on where we're going to be, meetups, dinners, masterminds. They're all available for you. 949-298-2905. Nick of time at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Close out the room, please. Thank you, everyone. That's 949-298-2905. We are in 200 cities this year. Speeches, masterminds, meetups, VIP dinners. We are sharing and building a community, not just of what David knows and who David knows and what David would do or what David knows. It's just simply building a community of what we all can do and what we all can know, a community of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. Nothing more powerful, whether you come to Free Friday Trainings, our Monday group, or any of the lives, the Ask Me Anythings, the meetups, the VIP dinners, the masterminds. Join us. You got to join us at david@dmeltzer.com. Thank you so much. Remember, most importantly, you got to be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Thank you, everyone.